Battle of the Talas River. How one battle sparked the Renaissance. Imagine this, the year is 751 AD. The wind howls across the Talas River, carrying whispers of war. On one side, the mighty Tang Dynasty, masters of silk, strategy, and bureaucracy. On the other, the ambitious Umayyad Caliphate, fueled by faith, fire, and the dream of expansion. But wait, what were Chinese troops doing in Central Asia? Why did the Karluks, Turkic nomads, suddenly switch sides mid-battle? And how did a few captured Chinese artisans end up triggering a paper revolution that would eventually fuel the Renaissance? This isn't just a battle, it's a collision of civilizations, a moment where betrayal, technology, and religion intertwined to reshape the world. And most importantly, what does this ancient battle have to do with the books on your shelf today? Stick around, because this story has twists, turns, and paper cuts sharper than a Mongol blade. By the early 700s, Central Asia was a mosaic of city-states, tribal confederations, and imperial ambitions. Two superpowers were expanding toward each other. Founded in 618 AD, the Tang ushered in a golden age of Chinese civilization. Art, science, and military might flourished. In 630, Tang forces crushed the Eastern Turkic Khaganate, and by 657, the Western Turkic Khaganate fell. Despite threats from the Tibetan Empire to the south and the Second Turkic Khaganate to the north, Tang influence surged. By 715, Tang China was the largest Chinese empire since the Han, with many Central Asian states as vassals. After the death of the Prophet Muhammad in 632, Arab armies exploded outward. By the mid-7th century, they had defeated the Eastern Roman, Byzantine, and Sassanid Persian empires. The Umayyads ruled from Spain to Central Asia, with their capital in Damascus. Now pause for a sec. Step into the extraordinary. Subscribe to Eccentric Digital Pixel. Welcome to the wild frontier of creativity, where pixels pulse with imagination and every frame tells a story you've never seen before. At Eccentric Digital Pixel, we don't follow trends, we bend reality. From surreal digital art to mind-blowing visual experiments, this is your backstage pass to the future of expression. Why hit subscribe? Get exclusive access to jaw-dropping digital creations. Be the first to witness new drops by turning on notifications. Dive into a world of eccentric brilliance that inspires, challenges, and captivates. Join a community of visionaries who crave the unconventional. Don't just scroll, experience the pixel revolution. Smash that subscribe button and ring the bell to never miss a masterpiece, because normal is boring, and you were born to see the world differently. In the 8th century, Central Asia was the chessboard of empires. On one side stood the Tang Dynasty, China's golden age of culture and conquest. On the other, the Abbasid Caliphate, newly risen from the ashes of the Umayyads, stretching from Spain to Persia. Meanwhile, the Abbasids had inherited a vast Islamic realm, having defeated the Byzantines and Sassanids, and now controlled most of Transoxiana. Both empires now shared the Silk Road, and that meant war was inevitable. Enter Gao Xianji, the Tang's Iron Fist. In 747, Tang General Gao Xianji, a brilliant commander of Korean descent, launched a campaign against Gilgit, a Tibetan ally. He captured the king and queen of Gilgit. Appointed governor, Gao forced many petty kingdoms into vassalage. He also launched a swift campaign against Gilgit, a Tibetan ally. His victory was decisive. He captured the royal family and forced many petty kingdoms into vassalage. Then came the feud between Fergana and Tashkent. Fergana asked for Tang help. Gao responded by attacking and capturing Tashkent in 750, executing its prince. The surviving heir fled to the Abbasids, who sent Ziyad ibn Salih with an army from Samarkand. Both generals deployed their forces with precision. Ziyad ibn Salih, archers in front, spearmen behind, heavy cavalry in the rear, light cavalry in reserve. Gao Xianji, crossbowmen and archers up front, spearmen in the second line, elite guards and Fergana troops in the third, Karluk Turks on the flanks. For 3 days, the battle followed a brutal rhythm. Tang archers outmatched their Arab counterparts, forcing them to retreat behind spearmen. Gao's spearmen, better armored, pushed the Arabs back. Ziyad sent heavy cavalry to outflank Gao's lighter units, but failed. Gao had to commit his reserves. The same pattern repeated on days 2 and 3. Then came day 4. The Karluks betrayed the Tang. They attacked Gao's infantry from the flanks. At the same moment, Ziyad launched a frontal assault. Gao's army collapsed. Between 10,000 and 20,000 Arabs died, but the Tang lost up to 30,000. The battlefield was soaked in blood and broken spears. In this version, both armies waited for 4 days, neither daring to strike. A third force, the Karluks, lingered beyond the Talas River. On the 5th morning, the Karluks attacked the Chinese left flank. The Abbasids charged from the front. Whether planned or spontaneous, the result was the same: devastation. Only a few thousand Tang troops near Gao escaped. The rest were slaughtered or captured. Though the Tang sent reinforcements to contain Abbasid expansion, the Anlushan rebellion erupted in 755, forcing them to withdraw from Central Asia. The Abbasids, too, failed to establish lasting control. Instead, Turkic tribes like the Karluks rose in power. With China's retreat, Buddhism lost its patronage in Central Asia. The region's connection to India weakened, and differences between Indian and Chinese Buddhism grew. After their pivotal betrayal of the Tang Dynasty at Talas, the Karluks, a Turkic confederation, emerged as a rising power in Central Asia. Initially Tengrist and later briefly Nestorian Christian, they began converting to Islam in the decades following Talas, especially under the influence of the Umayyad Dynasty, which embraced Islam and spread it across the region. This conversion was not just spiritual, it was strategic. Islam offered the Karluks a unifying identity, access to Abbasid patronage, and legitimacy in the Islamic world. Their embrace of Islam would set the stage for the Turkification of the Islamic world, and eventually the rise of empires that would reshape history. From the Karluks came a wave of Turkic migrations. Among them were the Seljuks, who converted to Islam around the 10th century and soon began carving out their own empire. Founded by Tughril Beg in 1037, the Seljuk Empire expanded rapidly across Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Anatolia. In 1071, Alp Arslan defeated the Byzantines at the Battle of Manzikert, opening Anatolia to Turkic settlement. The Seljuks became protectors of the Umayyad Caliphate and defenders of Sunni Islam, building madrasas and mosques and laying the groundwork for future Islamic governance. Their rise would directly provoke the Crusades, as Christian Europe sought to reclaim the Holy Land from these new Muslim overlords. Beginning in 1095, the Crusades were a series of religious wars launched by Christian Europe against Muslim powers in the Levant. They intensified the divide between East and West, between Christianity and Islam. They led to the creation of military orders like the Knights Templar and Hospitallers, and the rise of European monarchs. They also facilitated the exchange of ideas, technologies, and trade goods between cultures. Ironically, while the Crusaders sought to destroy Islam, they helped spread Islamic science, medicine, and philosophy into Europe. The Byzantine Empire, weakened by Crusader betrayal and internal strife, finally fell in 1453 when Mehmed II of the Ottoman Empire captured Constantinople VIII. This marked the end of the Roman Empire, which had lasted nearly 1,500 years. The Ottomans made Constantinople their capital and transformed it into Istanbul, the heart of a new Islamic empire. The fall of Byzantium cleared the way for Ottoman expansion into Europe, and the Ottomans would dominate the region for centuries. Founded by Osman I around 1299, the Ottoman Empire rose from a frontier principality to a global power 10. Under Suleiman the Magnificent, the empire reached its zenith, controlling the Balkans, the Middle East, and North Africa. The Ottomans inherited the mantle of the Seljuks and became the new caliphs of Islam. Their rise was built on the legacy of Turkic conversion, Seljuk conquest, and the fall of Byzantium. One of the most profound consequences of the Battle of Talas was the transfer of papermaking technology from China to the Islamic world. 13. Captured Chinese artisans introduced papermaking to Samarkand, and by 794 to 795 the first paper mill in Baghdad was established. Baghdad became a center of learning, with paper fueling the translation movement, the House of Wisdom, and the spread of Greek, Persian, and Indian knowledge. From Baghdad, paper spread to Damascus, then Egypt, Morocco, and Spain. By the 13th century, paper reached Italy, and by the 14th century, Germany and England. 15. This revolution in information technology made books cheaper and more accessible, enabled the Renaissance, the scientific revolution, and the Enlightenment. The Battle of Talas was not just a clash of swords, it was a collision of civilizations. Its consequences shifted the balance of power in Central Asia, sparked the Islamization of the Turkic world, set in motion the rise of the Seljuks, the Crusades, the Ottomans, introduced paper, the medium that would carry the ideas of Newton, Galileo, Descartes, and Darwin. The Battle of Talas was not just a military clash, it was a civilizational pivot. It marked the limit of Chinese expansion westward. It secured Islamic dominance in Central Asia. It catalyzed the spread of paper, transforming education, governance, and science. A forgotten frontier skirmish? Hardly. Talas was the butterfly that flapped its wings and stirred a storm across centuries. Before you go, if you enjoyed this thrilling journey through history, from the steppes of Central Asia to the rise of empires and revolutions, don't forget to follow us, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the past. We've got more epic tales, hidden truths, and mind-blowing connections coming your way. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's next. History isn't just about dates and battles, it's about the drama, the decisions, and the dominoes that shaped our world. So stay curious, stay eccentric, and we'll see you in the next story.